Thanks, Rich. All right, we're going to get into this program because we've got a very special guest. And Dr. Paul Houser, well, what can you say about Dr. Paul Houser? We could say a lot. I think most of us who have ever worked for the government can tell you that the most important thing a government official can have is integrity. I guess you can talk about other things too, like dependability and courage. Well, Dr. Houser has all those things. Now, don't be deceived by he looks kind of a young guy. He's got a lot of time as a scientist, over 20 years. And he's not only a man of integrity, but he stood up against his superiors in Department of Reclamation and Interior in particular as a scientific advisor and employee, and said, look, what you're doing is not right, because the scientific integrity and accuracy and the information that you have in this report to justify dam removal cannot be verified and cannot be substantiated by scientific data or studies. So what he did is he stood up against a big bureaucracy, Department of Interior and the Secretary. And I don't want to tell his story, except I think that he is such an outstanding representative of not only the United States of America, but also the government. And also proves that there are a lot of hardworking, honest people that work for government that are willing to stand up. Are there not enough of them? No. But we have them right over here to my left and to your right. And I'm going to read some of his qualifications. Paul Houser, Ph.D. His expertise is in water cycle dynamics and land surface hydrology. I cannot mention all the publications that he has had a part in writing or basically disseminating to the scientific community, but there are numerous. Things like the South American Land Data Assimilation System, a study of land surface processes using land surface models over the Little River experimental watershed in Georgia, evaluation of the AMSCR soil moisture results using the in situ data over the Little River experimental watershed, also in Georgia, impact of the land surface conditions on the North American monsoon, land-atmosphere coupling during 2004 North American monsoon, land data assimilation with statistical estimation and correction of model errors. And I could go on and on and on, but he's a well-established, tenured scientist, and he also has published his works in many professional publications, which lends great credibility and weight to what he's going to tell you tonight. He also did the enhancements for California-Nevada River forecasting centers, stream flow forecasting by high-resolution data assimilation, and assessing a satellite-era perspective of the global water cycle. You know, he's done so much it kind of makes your head hurt reading all this. Some of the research he's done is in some of his credentials, he's a present associate professor at George Mason University, a very distinguished university in Fairfax, Virginia. And again, he specialized in geography and geoinformation science department. And he works with Atmosphere, Ocean, and Earth Science Department. He's a present director of Hydrometeorology of the Earth Water Global in Arlington, Virginia. He's an adjunct research scientist, Center for Research on Environment and Water, Calverton, Maryland. He's a director, the Center for Research on Environment and Water. He's affiliate faculty member, Department of Atmospheric, Oceanic, and Earth Sciences, George Mason University. And he was the head at the GS-15 level, which is a very high level in government, Hydrological Sciences branch of the Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. So he has dealt with rocket science. He's a visiting senior scientist for NASA headquarters, Washington, D.C., and a research scientist for NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. He's taught classes in Principles of Hydrology at the University of Arizona, Land-Climate Interactions at George Mason University, the Hydrosphere at George Mason University, Cold Land Processes and Atmosphere Interactions Special Topics course, George Mason University, and the Equivalent Water Thickness Analysis Special Topics course at George Mason University. He's got a undergraduate degree, graduate degree, and a Ph.D. from the University of Arizona. Some of his awards. He's a Fulbright Senior Specialist candidate. He was a NASA Software of the Year Award recipient in 2005. He earned the NASA Space Act Award Land Information System Software version 4.0 award. He earned a Presidential Early Career Award for Scientists and Engineers in 2000. The Goddard Space Flight Center Special Act Award was conferred upon him in 97, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004. He's an American Geophysical Union Hydrology Section Outstanding Student. That's only in the younger days in 96. National Aeronautics and Space Administration Fellow in Global Change Research, 92 to 95. He's a National Science Foundation graduate, the fellowship in 1992. He's a Department of Energy Environmental Restoration and Waste Management Scholarship recipient, 1990. And to top it off, he was an Eagle Scout. And he got one more award. He's a hero of Siskiyou County.
But let me tell you a little about my history so you get an idea of where I'm coming from. So I decided when I was in 8th grade to be a hydrologist. I went to a career day. I was interested in maps, and I went to go visit the USGS, and they said, why do you want to study geology when you could study water? They were, it was the Water Resources Division of the USGS in Portland that I visited, and from that point I decided what I was going to do when I grew up. I'm still trying to figure that out, actually. But so from there I went to the University of Arizona, got my bachelor's degree and my Ph.D. there, and then I got the opportunity to go to NASA, worked there for 8 years, and I also, in 2005, went to George Mason University, and I did various other things during that time, started some research centers and whatnot. In 2011, I got an opportunity to work with Bureau of Reclamation. So I saw an advertisement for a senior scientist position, and I'd always kind of wanted to do research that made a difference. So instead of the typical academic route where professors write papers, do the publish or perish kind of thing, I wanted to do research that went beyond writing that paper and actually helped society make better decisions about water. So I saw this opportunity with reclamation. I'd worked with reclamation scientists in the past, and I knew that they were a little bit backwards. So I thought, how about if I go and try to make a difference there? So I applied for this job. I took a leave of absence from the university, and I'm glad I did because I needed that afterwards. And I went and applied and won the position of the science advisor or the top scientist at Bureau of Reclamation.